Hello, wonderful friends, and welcome to the June episode of The Purposely Broken World by Gary Nunez. I am very excited to have you here for another episode. Thank you for subscribing, thank you for liking, and thank you for just letting me spend a little time with you in advance. What does it mean to be a man with a disability in America? Today's topic: disability and manhood. What does it mean? How do we quantify it? Can we quantify it? Does a male with a disability matter? Are we sexy? Are we attractive? Are we financially viable? Let's talk about it. See you soon. The following is a part of Uchi Productions. All rights reserved by King Nunez and his colleagues. All opinions expressed are strictly their own. I am Kevin Nunez, and I want to officially welcome you to another episode of The Purposely Broken World. Society, disability, and faith always interact with each other. Let me explain how. 1 in 4 Americans have a disability. Everyone has faith in someone or something. And whether we want to admit it or not, we're all part of society. So if all these things work together, let's talk about them together. Welcome to the show. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Advocacy Life, podcast, and blog. Podcast episodes will be released once a month. Blogs will be released once every week on Wednesdays. See you soon. Hello, friends. Like I said, I'm Kevin Nunez. This is the June episode of the Purposely Broken World. First, let me get a few housekeeping things out of the way for this month's episode. I have decided to stop the exclusive content subscription. There is still a link to support the podcast. You can still send a monthly donation to the podcast. That would really, really help out immensely. You seriously have no idea how much it would help. However, since I had such few subscribers to the exclusive episodes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to release them all. And then I'm going to, as the subscriber count increases, hopefully I will go back to the exclusive model. But as of right now, it is not fair to have such a small audience pay for exclusive episodes. Right now, you're all going to get the same content as of May 24th. You're all going to get a whole bunch of new content for everyone out there. And then if I get enough subscribers, then I will go to the exclusive model. But I really need you guys to support the podcast, to support the website. It's a small little $5 donation. That's all it is, $5. It would really make a huge difference to me and my collaborators for the Advocacy Life brand. It takes money to produce these episodes. And people don't realize that. So please, if you have $3 or $5 to spare, that would really make a huge difference. So thank you for subscribing to the Advocacy Life brand. And this is the Purposely Broken World, the flagship show of the podcast. Miss Betsy Lee's show will always be free. She's not having exclusive content. I, under the Purposely Broken World, will no longer have exclusive content, at least for a while. So basically, you'll be supporting 2 shows with your donations for the time being. And hopefully, you'll get to tell your friends. Okay, moving on. Now that we have that under the way, let's get to today's topic. disability and manhood. Let's be honest, it's difficult to be a man in America in today's world. It really is. We don't get enough credit for being a dude in this world. Let me just say before we begin, I am not a chauvinist. I am not gonna pick on women. It is not my intention to degrade women or those who identify as female in any way. During this episode, this is strictly, for the most part, my experiences as a disabled male. Back in the 50s and 60s, it was easy to define the role of a man. Okay? It really was. The man would work, come home, pay the bills, make sure everything was right in the house. If anything needed to get fixed, he would fix it. If the wife got out of line, he would dispute the wife. That is wrong. It is wrong to hit women under any circumstances. Any abuse is wrong. Physical, mental, emotional. It's all wrong. But back in the 50s and 60s, that was accepted. That was the role of a man. To pay the bills, to make sure if something was broken in the house, to make sure it was fixed. But now in today's world, the role of a man is totally different. Before, the man had the ultimate say. Whatever the man said goes. Now things are different. Now we have equality. Or perceived equality, I should say. But there is no more black and white. Do this or do that. The role of a man, to me, in today's world is like that of a CEO of a very expensive Fortune 500 board. Okay? You have to listen to everybody. You have to take in their input. You gotta listen to what they say. You may have the ultimate decision, but you have to listen. You have to obey by the rules and the structures of your household, your partner, even to some extent your children, because you can't just go around abusing your children. There's an entire generation of children that grew up abused by their fathers because the father had a bad day and they got drunk after work and the kid got abused. So even though you have to listen to everyone, you may have an ultimate decision, but there's a lot more gray area now. Now there's a lot more accountability. Now let's throw on top of that disability. Okay? As a disabled male, this is one of the things I really struggle with. People talk about mental health, and yes, mental health is very, very, very important. I'm not discrediting that at all. Again, if you have issues, please go see someone. Do not keep it bottled in. But this is where I struggle. I'm doing this because I want people to relate to what it's like to be a disabled male. First, let's start off with the easiest one, or the one that is perceived to be the easiest one, which is disability and male sexuality. Okay, the male is generally, historically speaking, seen as the alpha, the aggressor when it comes to sexual, activities, when it comes to their, partners. When you have a disability like mine, you need a caregiver. Um, like I said in previous podcasts, You don't see someone like me being sexual on TV. I'm not saying, advocating for disability porn, even though I'm sure there is disability porn out there somewhere. But again, we're not seen as a sexual male being with a disability. Um, if you talk to a lot of women who who have male partners with disabilities, as I said in the past, a lot of the caregiving activities become sexy time, quote unquote. Um, but again, the point is because of those things, because we can't cut the grass. Well, I can't cut the grass. I'm not gonna be able to fix the sink if the the faucet is leaking. Okay, those are the things that bother me about even trying to start a relationship. Okay, because that is what a man is supposed to do, which was to provide for our partner, right? That is the general thing that a man is supposed to provide according to society and, you know, culture and what have you. First of all, if I get married, number one, we have a $3,000 asset limit between me and my partner. $3,000, no more in the account. Yes, they monitor it. So you can't really provide financially. And yes, there are special needs trusts. Yes, there is able accounts, but they're very, very tricky. They're very, very restrictive. I've never, ever, ever seen a person living on Social Security who lives comfortably, okay? You have enough to exist, but not enough to thrive. You're living, but you're not thriving under the current system. And I'm a capitalist. I'm not complaining. It is what it is. But because of that, because of things like the $3,000 asset limit, it would be easy. Okay, I can pay somebody to cut the grass for me. I can pay someone to, fix the leaky sink. But then the case in point is wondered, is she with me for me or is she with me because I can just pay for stuff? Um, and again, it all comes back to, I know you could say, well, confidence is key, and if you're confident, and you can look past the disability and all that. And yes, you absolutely can look past the disability. In fact, you need to. But those are the things that really keep me up at night. How do you explain to a woman that you're probably better off not marrying me? We could be together forever. We just can't legally get married because they'll go after your check as well. And again, you don't want to be known as the male sugar daddy if odds are your wife will make more than you will. So those are the things that a man with a disability has to handle. These are my solutions. They may not be the best solutions. They may not be the most professional solutions. Okay? One, be there for your ladies emotionally. Be their emotional rock. If they have a bad day, call them. Text them. Let them know that they matter. Okay? Your voice, if you can have a voice, use it. Tell them how they look so good. Tell them that they feel valued. Because, newsflash, you have to communicate what you need every single day. Communication is key. When you have a disability, it's really, really key. So always use your voice. make her feel valued every day. People are gonna give you looks when you're out, especially if you're in an interabled relationship. If your partner is normal, quote unquote, they will assume your wife. Again, I'm a male, so I'm just using females as an example because I'm attracted to females. I'm not trying to start like a gendered dynamic here. Um, but make her feel important, make her feel valued. When the world comes at you, laugh it off, make it funny. Confront when you have to confront. If you can let it slide, let it slide. Um, when it comes to the bedroom, same thing. Use your voice. Be patient with each other. Learn to use each other's bodies. Um, keep in mind that a lot of our community have been abused sexually in one form or another throughout their life. Um, just because there's an entire generations of people that were just released from institutions that never should have been there in the first place. And most of their abuse occurred in showers. Um, and also remember that a lot of individuals can never have a romantic relationship due to their, the constraint of their disabilities. So this conversation might not be appropriate for some individuals. I should have put that disclaimer on top. For that, I apologize. For sure. Um, but when it comes to being a man, find your male support system. Find those with disabilities and without disabilities that you can lean on for your own mental health, because it's hard to always be mentally there and spiritually there for your partner, because some days you as a man don't feel sexy, especially when you're having a bad day and your body is fighting against you. And if you're like me, you can have a great day and all of a sudden you sneeze a Godzilla sneeze, and you sneeze so much that you poop your pants. It's a real thing. So again, you don't feel sexy when you're telling your wife or your partner, I need help cleaning my butt. But those are the things that you have to deal with and use those negative experiences to build into positive ones. Um, you have to use those to communicate, to get to know each other, especially early on, because those things will happen. Um, if both people have a disability, that's a whole different dynamic. I didn't mean to exclude, um, disabled partners from the conversation. But again, you guys also have to constantly communicate as well. Probably more than the interabled couple do. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't had a lot of relationships. Um, it's just it's just been one of those things. I'm not the most confident when it comes to women. I'm just not. Um, it's hard to approach a woman when, in my case, I've seen so many good disabled men accused of sexual inappropriateness. That's also an unseen epidemic in America. There's a lot of disabled men who get accused of rape or inappropriateness, um, because it's an easy target. Again, I'm not trying to bash women by any means, but that is a very unspoken um, epidemic in America that does not get recognized. Those are things that don't get quantified in America. I know I've said a lot, probably a little too fast, but all this was on my mind and heart today. It's been on my mind and heart for a few days. I thought it'd be appropriate now that we're entering the summer months, um, because frankly, relationships tend to form. If you have a relationship, it's not always gonna be fair to both partners. It's not always gonna be equal to both partners. You're gonna have a lot of conversations early that most couples don't have. At least not for like 6 months or 9 months. You're probably gonna have to have them in the first month. People are gonna question you, especially if the individual is living with the family and they're trying to move out slowly. You guys are gonna have to incorporate the family into some of your discussions that normally probably wouldn't happen in a lot of regular relationships. This has been the June episode of the Purposely Broken World. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Please support the podcast by clicking on the support here link. Please, please, please. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you had a good day. See you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for listening. That was another episode of The Purposely Broken World as a part of the Advocacy Life podcast network. Please like, subscribe, and comment all on our social medias at The Advocacy Life podcast and blog. If you want bonus content, you must subscribe with a small monthly fee. You'll get new episodes and fresh content of the podcast and possibly bonus blogs. Subscribe today, tell your friends, leave a review. That's how you make a difference. Thanks for listening and or watching to The Purposely Broken World on the Advocacy Life podcast network.